Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. In the ring from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, this is Cactus Jack. His opponent making his way to the ring area from Lexington, Tennessee. Make welcome, hot stuff, Eddie Gilbert.
Hot stuff Eddie Gilbert making his way to the ring to take on Cactus Jack Manson, who has a featured article about that very bizarre individual in the new issue of Wrestling Wrap-Up, the official publication of World Championship Wrestling. Great picture of Flying Brian on the cover. There's a little stinger right there. You fans can get the Wrestling Wrap-Up wherever you see NWA Wrestling, and we're going to be telling you how you can subscribe the next few weeks right here on the Power Hour. This match one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Hot stuff Eddie Gilbert and Cactus Jack.
And Cactus Jack wasting no time. Moved in. Eddie Gilbert didn't get turned around in time, and he may pay the price for this.
I'm very surprised that Eddie Gilbert allowed himself to get caught off guard, Gordon. He's a very astute young man inside the squared circle.
Certainly no question about it. It was a momentary lapse in thinking, and this guy, Cactus Jack, who, like we said before, his elevator doesn't stop on every floor, but he stopped on that floor for sure.
And speaking of the elevators not stopping on all floors, Jim Cornette will have Norman, Cactus, and Captain Mike Rotunda, and a very mysterious black box, I understand. That should be most interesting. We'll have that live, Louisville Slugger, a little bit later in the program, as Cactus Jack taking that rag he calls a ring jacket and using it as a weapon there momentarily.
Well, he's very definitely got the rush going in his direction right now in regards to this match with Eddie Gilbert.
Gilbert reversed that move and rammed Cactus Jack's head into the turnbuckle, and now fights back with a succession of right hands. Oh, up and over goes Cactus Jack. Face first into the top turnbuckle, and then all the way over the top.
Well, there's no way he can be disqualified on that one because it was his own forward momentum that carried him over.
Gilbert now right outside after Cactus Jack tosses him back inside the squared circle. Gilbert met with a big right hand. Cactus Jack about 265. Gilbert 225. Some 40 pounds weight differential. Gordon, what will that mean in this match, in your opinion?
Well, once again, Gilbert's going to be better to try and go to the side of the man, try and get behind him, and then get him down on the mat. But, double-legging him now.
Cactus Jack blocked it and missed the clothesline. Good atomic drop there by Hot Stuff. And a drop kick all the way out goes Cactus Jack.
Well, notice Gilbert did exactly what I thought he might, and that was a duck under, go behind. Got him into that atomic knee drop, and Cactus Jack just got knocked into the next area code, I think.
He's having a match now with a wrestling match on the outside. Referee Randy Anderson has the unenviable task of monitoring this contest. Uh-oh, little subterfuge there by Hot Stuff. Hey, he's a master of the breaking of rules if he chooses to do so. He's a very cagey youngster.
Well, he's had ample training over the years from his dad, Tommy Gilbert, and he can go both sides of the street, so to speak. If you want to pier six it, he'll pier six. If you want to wrestle, he'll wrestle.
He certainly has the mental advantage on Cactus Jack. I think a succession of moves, perhaps some chain wrestling, could serve to confuse Cactus Jack somewhat.
Yeah, I'd really like to get a deeper handle on Cactus Jack, but his concentration span seems a bit limited.
Kind of what we were talking about. Gilbert jumped on one side, jumped back on the other. Cactus Jack went for the bait. Nobody there.
And he's back in a side headlock.
Yeah.
Would you believe it, though, when I got into Columbus this afternoon, I caught Cactus Jack, a glimpse of him, and he was visiting the Confederate Naval Museum. It's here in Columbus. It's a fascinating town with a lot of heritage and history behind it.
Certainly is. It's been a long-time stronghold here with the fans of World Championship Wrestling in the NWA. Many years, promoter Fred Ward promoted this city. Nice drop toe by Cactus Jack. Floating over, but Gilbert reverses it. First the hammerlock and now the headlock. So perhaps Gilbert's going to try to confuse Cactus Jack. I guess what we're saying is to keep him off balance. Cactus Jack is a real offensive individual. I don't mean that personality-wise, even though that probably would fit.
Yeah.
But he likes to wrestle offensively. And he's at his best when he's doing that, whereas some athletes gain the advantage through counter wrestling. He likes to go right on the attack.
Well, like Dale Lewis, a great former wrestler, went to the Olympics. He was strictly a defensive wrestler. And many times you can get yourself into a trap. Standing top wrist lock here is a test of strength and leverage here for these two men.
I remember Dale Lewis very well. Wrestled for Port Robertson at the University of Oklahoma. Was an NCAA champion there. And as you mentioned, he was a very defensive wrestler. He allowed his opponents to make the mistakes, and then he capitalized. That's not Cactus Jack's modus operandi.
No.
Look at that face.
Eddie Gilbert keeping the pressure on him.
He certainly is, and staying on the offensive, dictating the pace and dictating the action.
There are 10 minutes remaining in the match. 10 minutes.
We just heard the ring announcer announcing 10 minutes left in this match. And Cactus Jack suddenly opens up with two hard right hands.
Certainly does at the 6-minute mark. And Gilbert, high cross body, and did not have the opportunity to grapevine the leg or to neutralize the lower torso. Good hip lock takeover.
No.
Gilbert's executing a very sound game plan thus far, Gordon.
He is, and I think he's being reasonably cautious, too. I think he knows because this man is so unpredictable. He's like a tornado. You don't know where he's going to come from next.
Lex Luger's United States title defense still to come in the hour with Nature Boy Ric Flair joining Gordon Soley and I at our broadcast position to provide color analysis. Whether you love Flair or hate him, you have to respect the fact that he dominated wrestling like no other in the 80s. And he will have that insight as Gilbert opens up on Cactus Jack. But Gilbert perhaps telegraphed a little early, but he makes an adjustment. And Cactus Jack reverses and counters Gilbert. Great succession of moves.
I would really like to know more about Cactus Jack's background because he's made some basic wrestling moves. These go-behinds, the switches. This man is not only a rough, tough brawler, but he's got some solid background.
I think Kevin Sullivan, who does have a great amateur background, has his influence is rubbing off on Cactus Jack. Sullivan was a 4-time state champion in Massachusetts at 4 different weights. So obviously his background in wrestling started in the amateurs.
Right.
As has really so many of the great ones here in the NWA like Sullivan. And Gilbert, there's a lateral press. Got the left shoulder up. Cactus Jack. Now the right shoulder comes up. Near fall situation.
And Gilbert may have had something taken out of him because he was grimacing in pain a moment ago. He has a propensity for occasional muscle spasms, and that can cost you dearly in the heat of combat.
Having him recently in a match with Nature Boy Ric Flair, he had those severe muscle spasms in his back. I can tell you that's a very, very painful thing. You cannot get your breath. It's a very scary situation when you can't breathe. Cactus Jack now using the knee for leverage, interestingly enough.
That double rear chin lock, and he's driving right into the thoracic area of the back, just above it. And that puts a lot of extra pressure on the vertebrae itself. And, of course, it also helps confine the breathing of Eddie Gilbert.
Cactus Jack, the larger of the two men. Now Gilbert must carry Cactus Jack's weight as well. Great crowd here in Columbus. Always enjoyed coming here to this beautiful part of the country.
Gilbert needs to get back to his feet. He needs to get away from this hold.
Want to say hi to the fans. This Saturday night, the NWA will be in St. Louis. And this Sunday night, the NWA will be in Baltimore. That's at the Baltimore Arena. That's this Sunday night, the 25th. Great cards at the Kiel in Baltimore are in St. Louis. And also in Baltimore on the 25th. We'll be in Johnstown, Pennsylvania this Monday night. Really looking forward to that. And then we're going to be, my first time to be in Canton, Ohio. I know I'm going to be in town early to go by the National Football Hall of Fame there in Canton. We'll be there with our whole television production crew Tuesday night in Canton at 7:30.
Well, Jack keeping that pressure on him on that chin lock. Gilbert's going to have to get away from this, or his air supply is going to be so severely deflated that he's not going to be able to continue.
Cactus Jack using his upper body strength to hold Gilbert, who was already injured. Gilbert's got to get an adrenaline rush here to stay in this thing.
2 minutes elapsed. There are 5 minutes remaining in the match. 5 minutes.
Notice the way he's got that chin lock hooked. He's catching it under the jaw. And quite possibly he might be coming near that carotid artery as well.
Gilbert now trying to get back to a vertical base. He has done so. Going inside, working on the quadricep muscle of Cactus Jack there, trying to knot it up. And Cactus Jack, Gilbert went for it all, and Cactus Jack sidestepped him. Cactus Jack, oh, he drop-kicked him right off the apron. I'll tell you, this guy may be a rising star, but he takes so many chances.
He's a high-risk taker, no question about it. I don't think he realizes that he is a high-risk taker.
I think you're right. I think it's a normal match for him as far as his offensive arsenal is concerned. I'm sure we haven't seen the last yet from Cactus Jack. Great right hands by Cactus Jack, and now hot stuff Eddie Gilbert must create a break.
Ooh, brother.
Solid elbow on top, lateral press, and Gilbert taking it. You can almost see it took a lot more energy that time to kick out. Side Russian leg sweep. That's a great move. He's great behind the leg, and Gilbert, thought he was pinned.
Well, if Cactus Jack beats him, you certainly could not consider it an upset because of the unorthodox measures that Cactus Jack uses.
Cactus Jack now working on that neck again. Gilbert was injured in a car accident in the early 80s, broke his neck. And that's something that when he's scouting an opponent, even Cactus Jack's mental capacity, I'm sure Kevin Sullivan mentioned to Cactus Jack that Gilbert's got, if he's got a weak cheek, it may be in the neck.
And Gilbert is unquestionably in trouble now. His breathing is rather rapid. He's having trouble getting enough oxygen into his lungs.
Cactus Jack hammers back. Fans will be back in Atlanta. Right up 85 from here in Columbus on Sunday, April the 8th. Our next big event in the Omni. And Cactus Jack going for the high ribs. And Gilbert nailed it. He really buried the right hand. A mule kick again to the abdomen and a third one. Gilbert with right hands, and now hot stuff Eddie Gilbert showing the fire that we've seen from him so many times.
Oh, he got that rush of adrenaline, certainly no question, but now all of a sudden caught again. Very high percussion match.
Certainly is. Gilbert ran chest first into the security barricade. Cactus Jack went for the clothesline, and Gilbert very quickly moved out of the way, and Cactus Jack went all the way over the railing out in the front row ringside. Gilbert suplexes him back over. Wow.
And on the other side of a solid concrete, this time he came back on a little bit of a padding, but not very much.
Got to be a couple of 3 minutes left in this one. Less than 5, we know. Gilbert going for the sunset flip. Cactus Jack. 1 minute left in the match. Inside cradle by Gilbert. This could be all. 1, 2, and Cactus Jack barely kicked out of that. Now it's a neck break. He nailed him with it, perfectly executed. Anderson down, and Gilbert kicked out. Going for a backslide. 30 seconds left in this one.
It only takes 3 to make a pinfall.
Cactus Jack rolled off that pinning predicament. Gilbert going for a... They got to hit a home run here, and they both went for the same move.
Cactus Jack trying for the pin.
And the time limit's going to expire on this one. The time limit has expired on this one. Gilbert and Cactus Jack still fighting. But we have a time limit. What's the decision?
Wrestling fans, referee Pee-wee Anderson is calling and the time limit has expired. This match has been declared a draw.
Cactus Jack and Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert battle to a time limit draw. And fans, when we come back, Jim Cornette will be with Norman, Captain Mike. But who's in the black box? Maybe we'll find out when we come back.